The following is an interview with F. Scott Fitzgerald by Tom O'Daly of the World News.
I'm Tom O'Daly from the World News.
You know who I am. So
Yeah, do it. Wow, that's cocky. We're going to do a little story on you, so get a little basic information. So a little bit about your early life. Where were you born?
I was born in St. Paul, Missouri.
Missouri. Yeah, it's similar to St. Paul, Minnesota, where you were
Yeah.
actually born.
Yep, and I was born to my lovely parents there in Molly and Edward.
Molly and Edward. So how did you get that name, F. Scott?
I got it from my second cousin, actually, he actually wrote the Star Spangled Banner.
Francis Scott Key.
Yes, that's him.
Lovely guy.
Yeah.
Where did you receive your schooling?
Up until high school, I went to St. Paul Academy, and then I went to Princeton for a while. But
Okay.
that's actually where I wrote most of my literary works.
The ones we've never heard of.
Yes,
Ah.
those are the ones. But my grades started slipping because I was paying more attention to my writing, and so I dropped out and enlisted in the military.
Oh, okay. Were you ever? That was around the period of World War I, wasn't it?
It was actually right before it ended.
Okay, 1917. Were you ever scared of being deployed and going
I
to battle?
was absolutely terrified.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that's when you wrote the Romantic Egotist.
Yep.
And that didn't quite get published, but it really set your career off on a good standing.
Yeah, it kind of went up from there, and then
Yeah.
that's where it started to peak.
Yeah. What about your how you met your wife Zelda?
Well, I actually met her when I was transferred to the Sheldon military base in Alabama,
Okay.
and her father was actually the head Supreme Court jury guy.
Justice. Yeah, he was
Justice.
Supreme Court Justice in Alabama.
And
Yeah.
she's
Tell me about Zelda. Yes.
well, she was she had very short hair.
Short hair.
Short brown hair, yeah.
Short
She had
brown
brown eyes.
Uh-huh.
She had a very round face.
Round face.
But man, was she pretty to me. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, Golden Girl.
Man.
You once said.
A real southern accent.
Real Southern, being
Yeah.
from Alabama.
Yes, it's just
Real Southern state.
that's about as low as you can get down there.
Florida's a little further south.
It doesn't know that stuff.
Yeah. Known for the jazz age, right? And
Yeah.
how was that living through the jazz age?
Jazz age was amazing.
What was it?
Everyone was just jumping around. It was exciting.
Roaring 20s.
It really was the Roaring Twenties in every sense of those words. I mean, it was just heart throbbing, and you just want to get up on your feet and dance.
All the music, yeah. And
yeah,
so,
it was wonderful.
so eventually you ended up on a boat, and you went over to Paris for like the trip of a lifetime. So tell me about that.
Well, I kind of want to explore the world, and everyone was telling me about how great Paris is and how great France is, and I decided to go see for it myself. So I got in a boat, I went over to Paris, and was there for a week and a half, I think.
A week and a half.
Yeah, and it just
Close to a year. A week and a half is.
but I went over there, and one night I was at a bar. We were exploring. We were at the Eiffel Tower that day, I think.
Yeah, that's a great place.
And
real scenery.
And we were at this bar, this little pub, and just kind of just a strange part of town. Definitely didn't want tourists there, but
No.
I was there. I was writing this part of my script actually. I had a couple of drinks, and I saw he was sitting on the other side of the bar, I think. He was sitting on the other side of the bar, and it was Ernest Hemingway.
Ernest Hemingway,
It was
one of the century's
my
best writers.
current best friend.
Nice.
I love him today.
Y'all that close.
Yeah, it's like that.
Like
And he came over to me and he gave me one of his books to read. Actually, we were talking for a little bit.
The Sun Also Rises was that
Yeah,
first book.
I actually gave that to my publisher.
You were responsible for kicking off Ernest Hemingway's career.
If you want to look at it that way, I guess maybe that's why our friendship is so great now. Maybe
I mean,
we've
he owes you a
helped
career.
we helped each other out, and he's considered to be one of the best writers right now. I mean,
Yeah, he's real good. I've
real
read a lot of his
fantastic
stuff.
guy.
Yeah, and period of 20s, right after you came back from Paris, you wrote The Great Gatsby, one of the decade's best books, and I have not read it, so try not to ruin it for me. But how was it to write The Great Gatsby?
Well, first off, thank you for giving me that title, I guess, of the best of the 20s.
It's a pretty great book.
That's a really good accomplishment. The book is amazing. I love the book. I think it is a great book. It tells a great story. It's fun. It's interactive. Life is a party, basically.
Yeah, the 20s. Encompassed a lot of that.
Everyone just loved it. The jazz age, and everyone just had a fun time. But there's also kind of like a gloomy and just having to. I made sure I like putting in my books life experiences that I've had, so I can relate to the book, and the fans and the people that read my books understand that I'm not just creating something. This is actually relatable to me, and just some of the things I put in there. It's not all just half the book or anything, but certain things happened to me, and I guess when you read the book, you'll find out. But
in the 30s, the 30s hit America hard. The Great Depression and everything. But you, right at the end of the 20s, you had a pretty dark time. You had some financial difficulties.
I started the 30s early.
Yeah, you started the 30s early. But you had some financial difficulties, and you picked up a little bit of alcoholism, and that kind of plagued you for the next 2 decades. And your wife actually was diagnosed with schizophrenia. So tell me about that time.
Well, I'm going to be honest, it was just straight depressing.
Yeah.
I don't remember parts of it.
Greatly depressing.
I don't want to.
Great Depression.
Yeah, I don't want to remember parts of that, honestly. I did try and block out some of it, but I do remember it's just, it was hard. I wasn't getting as much money from books. I got a lot right off the bat from The Great Gatsby. It was just, I got
quick sellers.
Amazing profits, but after that it dropped off, and I started spending too much and partying too much, and I just got into a lot of debt with people that you shouldn't be getting into debt with, and
it's hard to pay that back.
I just wanted to forget about it, so I started drinking a lot. I became an uncontrollable alcoholic, and the worst part probably was about a year after that. After I started drinking, that my wife Zelda actually got diagnosed with schizophrenia, and that was heartbreaking and terrifying. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how she was going to react to things or what she was going to think of it. And she also was having a rough time with the money situation, and she was always mad at me, and I helped my drinking as well. But after a few years, I really decided to get her help, so I saved up enough money to pay an asylum, basically, to help her with her schizophrenia and her mental health. And I sobered up and got some money and made sure that she was taken care of.
That's good. And did that play any role on your post-Gatsby literature?
I definitely think it did. The stuff after The Great Gatsby really was depressing. It was darker. It was whatever adjectives you can think of that anything negative. That was what it was about. And the Great Depression hit, and I think everyone was just having a bad time. And I put my point of view into the other books, and whoever read them got to see what I felt about it and what I was going through. And
that played right into your last book, right before you died, was the Love of the Last Tycoon, and that was one you didn't actually get to see published, but that had a big impact on the world as well. So last order of business. It's been lovely talking to you.
And same to you.
Yeah, go over your death. It's a pretty crazy one, if I recall. And tell me about
pretty sad, actually. But
pretty sad death. Yeah.
Basically, what happened was I got a candy bar. I was eating it. Started to unwrap it, and as I eat it, I just fall to the ground.
You fell to the ground.
I just collapsed. I thought I don't know if I had an allergic reaction or what was going on, or whether I just
candy bars.
I maybe it was peanuts in it. I don't even remember.
You don't
But-
remember the cane anymore.
I remember my heart just feeling like it stopped.
Uh-huh.
So I had a heart attack, and within minutes probably I died of that heart attack.
Oh, yeah, so
But they thought I was poisoned for a while because of the candy bar.
they thought you were poisoned.
Yeah,
Oh,
some writer was out to get me, I guess.
yeah, but it was a heart attack.
Yeah, it was a heart attack, not a
I
candy
mean,
bar.
considering you died almost 80 years ago, it's pretty impressive you're talking to me now.
Yeah, I really just cannot explain that one actually.
Yeah, it's
We'll leave that one up to
Weird
everyone
stuff.
else to put their brains to and imagine.
well, your work continues to live on past you, and it's serving readers now and in the future. So it was lovely talking to you, Mr.
You
Fitzgerald.
too, you too.
And that's all we got.
Great.
Right next to St. Louis.
It's very close to St. Paul, Minnesota, actually.
Is it right,
And,
right next to St. Paul,
They
Minnesota?
actually share the city. It's half and half. It's on the border.
Two states that
It's
don't
very-
border.
It's very difficult to border with a state that's over 1,000 miles away from each other.
It is very difficult.
It's probably not that much either.
It's not that much.
Yeah.
It's not. They're not that far away.
Well, all right. Well,
Yeah, you
I
can
think we
stop
can
that.
stop this
Yeah.
and.
So, I'm out of questions because we only rehearsed one. But yeah, stop.